Good afternoon, Villa fans, and welcome to a match preview for Wolverhampton against Aston Villa tomorrow, tea time, 5:30 kickoff. Just Unai Emery's I think, finished off his press conference just now, revealed some team news to us as well, which I wanted to sort of share with you. So obviously Tyrone Mings is still a little bit away, maybe a week or so away from being back on the field, so he's going to miss out tomorrow. And Matty Cash, after coming off in the Celtic game after half an hour, he's now been ruled out for that 3 to 4 weeks. I'm not sure what the actual injury was. It looked like a bit of a hamstring. So we've got some defensive issues there, definitely going into this game. Might see a debut now for Andres Garcia. Might mean that we need to keep Costa Nedeljkovic, which I think he's been talking to Saint Etienne about going out on loan, but whether that sort of changes things now, with Matty Cash being injured and missing for 4 weeks. And then obviously, we're still yet, as it is now at 2:45, yet to see an incoming in the defensive line. Disasi obviously been linked. That hasn't sort of happened yet. João Felix been mentioned. Nothing going on there at the moment. So, and then the Saudi deadline is tonight, apparently. So if El Nasser want to get John Duran signed and sealed, they've got a matter of hours to get it done. So, it should all lead to an exciting sort of climax to the window. But yeah, let's see. And then focusing on this game here. So it's really going to test the squad once again. Obviously, in the Celtic game, we saw Boubacar Kamara filling in at centre-back. Looks like that's going to be happening again if Mings is out, and we don't have any other kind of options there. Obviously, Pau Torres is still out. Carlos is gone now. And then obviously we've got Matty Cash out at right back, and we saw Lamar Bogard being switched to right back ahead of Costa Nedeljkovic. Obviously, Andres Garcia was not eligible for the Celtic game. So it probably looks like, Martinez in goal, right back. Probably will be throwing in Andres Garcia, I would imagine, at right back here. And then going with Boubacar Kamara and Ezri Konsa as the centre-back options. Luca Dino at left back. And then ahead of that, you are probably looking at Lamar Bogard and probably Tielemans or maybe McGinn coming into that role where he came in the Celtic game. But I can't see him just excluding Lamar Bogard completely. So I think probably we'll see a start for Bogard. And then maybe McGinn sort of building up his minutes on the bench. So Bogard and Tielemans as that sort of defensive two. And then ahead of that, looking at it, Rodgers obviously picking himself at the moment. Jacob Ramsey finding some good form. So I imagine he would continue to play. And then it's it's an option of Daniel Marlon or Leon Bailey playing from the right-hand side. Obviously, Buendia's gone now. Not sure that Ross Barkley, Onana are going to be available, but they wouldn't play that sort of position anyway. And then obviously Jean Duran with the transfer speculation, he'll be gone tonight probably. Well, it has to be. So he's not going to be a part of the squad. So it will probably be Leon Bailey with maybe Marlon as that impact sub, maybe sort of towards the end of the game, perhaps, just to give us some fresh legs and some fresh pace. But all of a sudden, the bench again is looking very, very thin. We only had like 7 subs against Celtic, and I think 3 of those were like 18 and below. I think it was like Ziyech, Patterson, and Caden Young. So now that we've got Matty Cash added to that injury list there, really going to test us in the squad depth here. And, obviously we can't register players now to play tomorrow. So we're going to have to go with what we've got. But it's just leaving us really, 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 really thin. So looking at Wolverhampton, last 5 games, 3 straight losses. They've done, they lost 1-0 to Arsenal, even though Arsenal had a man sent off, Lewis Skelly, I think it was, after in the first half, after about half an hour or so. But then Wolves had their own man sort of sent off towards the end of the game as well and ended up losing 1-0 there. And then a 3-1 defeat to Chelsea. And then before that, a 3-0 defeat to Newcastle. They did win in the FA Cup against Bristol City 2-1. And then before that, a 3-0 loss to high-flying Nottingham Forest as well. So it hasn't been a good sort of last 5 games. The manager came in on the 19th of December, Vitor Pereira, and did have that new manager bounce because they won his first game in charge 3-0 against Leicester. Then they beat Man United 2-0, and then they drew 2-2 with Spurs. But since then, it's just been a bit, there's 4 defeats in the league in a row. And yes, they're not coming into this game in good form. They've got injury to Strand Larsen, who's got sort of 7 goals for them this season. He's going to be missing tomorrow, and he's been a bit of a focal point for them. But that will probably mean that Matheus Cunha, who's been linked with Aston Villa, will probably lead the line here, I would imagine, with maybe sort of He Chan coming in behind, perhaps. But Cunha's got 10 goals this season. He's a player that I do like, and I think he would be a very good signing because he could play that number 9 role and also play as a 10 as well. So it just gives you options, and he wouldn't be sat on the bench, waiting for a chance to come in for Watkins. He could take the place of Leon Bailey or give Morgan Rogers a rest, or even Jacob Ramsey, anywhere across that sort of front line. It's quite versatile. And obviously, you've got the same with Daniel Marlon, who can do a very similar sort of job. But we've been linked with Cunha. We've been linked with Asensio recently as well, which is a player that I mentioned in one of my Transfer Talk podcasts a couple of months ago now, I think it was, or just before the transfer window opened. And then, we've got João Felix as well. Obviously, I can't see us signing all of them. But if you're giving me an option of those 3, Asensio, Felix, and Cunha, I'm probably going to go with Cunha because he can play the 9, and Felix can't play as a 9, and nor can Asensio. He's not a 9 either. So out of the 3, I'm going for Matheus Cunha, and I'm sure that this will be an opportunity for him to show Unai Emery what he's all about, and also playing in that sort of number 9 position as well as the focal point for Wolverhampton. And obviously he's going to be up against probably Konsa and Kamara, so it'll be a good test to see how he gets on. Wolverhampton plays sort of a 3-4-3 formation, and they've pretty much stuck to that under Vitor Pereira. So it'll be interesting to see, how Villa sort of work around that sort of shape. They are sat in the relegation zone at the moment. They've got Ait-Nouri, who's a very good left back for them. He's got 4 goals this season from left back, or left wing back, should we call it. And I'm surprised that he's still there, to be fair. I thought he would have maybe got a move to a bigger team. There have been rumours about the likes of Man United looking at him, and he always seems to have a good game against Villa. I remember last season when, he could have scored a couple of goals, really, when he was sort of clear through the box there. But it'll be interesting to see. Ezri Konsa's obviously got a good record against these guys in recent years as well. Is he going to get his name on the score sheet again? It's going to be interesting game tomorrow. I think we're going to win this game. If I'm giving a score prediction for this, I'm going to go Wolves 1, Villa 2. We're not going to, run away with it. And there might be some sort of little hangover from the Celtic game. There's a lot of effort put into that one. And a lot of players obviously played the 90 minutes, like Watkins, like Rogers. So there's a lot of minutes used up in the tank there as well. So, and we don't have much that we can get off the bench now. We've got obviously Ian Martin on the bench. We'll have maybe Marlon on the bench. That's 2 good options, I suppose. But apart from that, it's going to be, quite a few youngsters and youth players there to sort of make up the rest of the bench, because there's not many options there. And Nedeljkovic could come in at right back if Garcia is not, had enough training sessions to learn how Emery wants to play and what he wants to do. But I do think Garcia will get the nod ahead of Nedeljkovic for this one. And I don't really want to see Bogard playing at right back, because I don't think he offers anything as an attacking outlet. And he plays his best minutes in midfield. We saw it against Arsenal. We saw it for half an hour against Celtic. He was doing well in that CDM position. So I wouldn't want to move him out of there to put him at right back, where he doesn't offer any sort of threat at all. It's going to be a very, very interesting time. And hopefully we're very close to announcing some signings, because the transfer window in the Premier League is, I think, 11 o'clock on Monday. So we haven't got a lot of time to get business done, and we probably still need a good, I would say, 2-3 players perhaps to bring in, especially if this Duran deal does get over the line, which it does look like it will. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. Please do like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We are growing it. Give me your score predictions in the comments. I said I'm going for a 2-1 Villa win. If you're asking me for goal scorers, I'm going to go for Ollie Watkins, and I'm going to go for Tielemans and Watkins. There you go. As a 2 goal scorers for this game. And just about to get it over the line and get 3 points for us. But yeah, until the next video, guys, which will be a match reaction to this tomorrow evening. Up the Villa. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll jump straight on if there's any transfer news that's being announced. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Bye-bye.